So I will, so we're talking about the calendar, the JCC movement calendar, which if you've been a user of the Resource Center, you've seen the little JCC movement calendar box on the front page coming soon. And it is finally here. So the JCC, the calendar is live and you're able to log into it from the homepage, from the navigation bar, and from the left side menu. So what is the JCC Movement Calendar? It's a tool for JCC staff to learn about opportunities, including networking with JCC colleagues across North America, education, professional development, scholarships, programs, grants. The calendar is designed to serve as a planning tool. It includes Jewish and non-Jewish holidays and observances, and continental Jewish community gatherings. So let me share my screen. Let's see here. Yep. And can you see my screen?
Not yet, no.
Okay, now should be good. Lila, give me a thumbs up if you're okay.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, great. So we are gonna go in the calendar here. And so this is the calendar, pretty standard calendar view. Very colorful in this view. And right away, we can see on the left side panel here that the calendar is broken up into sub-calendars. It's broken up into things you can participate in and also things that are more informational. So, for example, we have calls, which are informational calls and programmatic calls, usually that you would find in the program brief. We have Israel travel, so different programs and opportunities for JCC staff and communities to travel, items related to the JCC Maccabi games, scholarships, trainings, and cohorts. So for scholarships, what we post is the application window, the open and close deadlines. And for training and cohorts, we post information about the application window as well as when the actual programs are going to be happening. So so if somebody's interested in applying, they will know which dates the program falls on. There's also JCC conferences. So these are regional conferences and national conferences such as ProCon. And we have Jewish communal conferences, which are large conferences from organizations such as BBYO and PJ Library. And these are here both for informational purposes in case a staff person would like to sign up, but also for scheduling purposes. So if you're planning, let's say, a program for your early childhood staff, and there's a PJ Library conference, which many of them will attend, you might want to avoid planning it during that conference. Okay. We have peer communities, which are for staff in a certain professional area to connect with each other. There's data collection, both surveys and the JCC profile update campaigns that I mentioned earlier. And then we also have holidays. So we have Canadian holidays, US holidays, Jewish holidays, non-Jewish faith holidays, and we also have awareness month. So these are things like Black History Month, Women's Month, American Jewish Heritage Month, and these are both informational. So in case your JCC would like to host programs around these holidays, and scheduling. So for example, let's say you have a large Hindu population, both either in staff or in your community, you can look at holidays that might affect that community and adjust your JCC's calendar around that. So these are the different opportunities and listings in the calendar. So we can quickly take a look at the different views. So for example, right now we are looking at the 1 month view of November, and we're seeing all the different opportunities available there. Another way to look at this is a list view. So we're going to click on list, and right now it's we're looking at 1 year, and this is a way to quickly see and scroll through all the opportunities for a given period. So right now we're just looking at the headlines, but if I wanted to, I could add details, and we could see all the details for that opportunity. I'm going to close this here, and I'm going to go back to the colorful 1 month view. One of the cool features of this calendar is that you can actually add all or some of the sub calendars to your own work calendar. So for example, we use Outlook at JCC Association, and I imported the peer communities, which are here, into my own Outlook calendar. So I'm going to quickly bring my calendar onto the screen, and you could see the peer communities calendar is added here. And all these green items are peer communities that appear in my Outlook calendar. To learn how to do this, it's very easy. You visit the calendar user guide, which is found both at the top menu here, or you can click on it here. I'll click on it quickly. And it should really answer all the questions about the functionality and the features of the calendar. So if we click, so for example, viewing in Outlook and Google Calendar, you can learn how to add these items to your own calendar at work. Okay, now as we might see, the calendar is pretty busy. There's a lot of stuff happening here. It's possible that you are only interested in certain category of items. For example, you are only interested in training and cohorts. And what we can do here is we click on this little eye in the corner of the calendar, and we'll only view those items in the calendar. We can also scroll in the future. And of course, the same applies to the list view. So now we see a list for 1 year of only training and cohort items. I'm going to click on the eye again, and then everything appears once again. Every item in the calendar has details about it. So different sub-calendars will have different details about them. So most items which are calls, for example, is we click on it, and you will see details about it. So there's the title, obviously. Now there's more information about what this call is about. And there is a link, so you can click here and you can register. And you can also find the relevant information related to this call. So for example, this call, Never Alone, is related to a grant that we are accepting applications for right now. And the grant information is actually in the JCC Resource Center. And here we have a helpful link that'll take you to that page. I'm clicking here, and here's the grant that's related to this call. Let's take a look at a few more quick examples. So there's, for training and cohort opportunities where we're announcing an application, we'll click here. So there's a link to apply. There's the deadline. So there's a deadline already passed. There's contact information. And there is also to look, because there's a page for this opportunity in the JCC Resource Center. We can click here and we can get more information about this opportunity. So for calls, programs, etc., where there's an action item, you'll see the action items in the details. Some things like holidays are more informational. So for example, you'll notice that we have parshas, which are the weekly Torah portions that observant Jews read and study during that week. And we have a little bit of information about that Torah portion of the week. We also have a link to a third-party website that will give you more information about this Torah portion. What's pretty cool is for some holidays, we actually have resources in the resource center. So for example, Rosh Hashanah, it tells you what this holiday is, and we have resources for it. So for example, we have Rosh Hashanah programming ideas, and we have social media graphics for Rosh Hashanah. So I'll click here, and it takes you to the Rosh Hashanah graphics page on the resource center. Okay, so these are the details that you'll find in the different opportunities. So how do you find things? As I mentioned, there's a lot of stuff here, and some of it is relevant for everybody. Some of it is relevant for certain audiences. So there's two ways to go about finding things. So the one of them is to use the by audience dropdown on the left side panel here, and you will see the different audiences that we believe a specific opportunity is for. So if something is for everybody, all JCC professionals, it'll have JCC professionals in it. If something is for the community, it'll have JCC community in it, but it also has specific professional areas. So for example, if I'm looking for items for early childhood staff, I'm going to choose early childhood here. And let's go to November. And we see that these are the items that we believe would be helpful for early childhood staff. Let's do one more, JCC professionals. So these are the items that we believe would be of interest to all JCC professionals. The other way you can find items that are relevant for you is keywords or tags. So most of the opportunities have a specific keyword or tag that we included in them. These tags are all listed in the calendar user guide here, and some of them are professional areas and some of them are locations. So if something, let's say, is happening in New York or Israel, it'll have the New York or Israel tag. And we can start typing them here in the keyword section. So I'll just start typing early childhood, and right away it's look just like when you type into Google and it gives you suggestions, it's finding things that have early in them. I'm going to continue typing. There's no spaces in these tags or keywords, so I'm going to type in early childhood, and these are the opportunities that have the early childhood tag in them. The other place where we can use this is the search field up here. And here we can select actually a date range. So it can be any date range going forwards or backwards. So we can look at May of this year to May of next year. And again, I'm going to type in early childhood, no spaces. And I'm going to type in enter. So these are all the opportunities for early childhood educators. So that's pretty much the functionality of the calendar. There's also an opportunity, if you want to submit items from your JCC to be included in the calendar. The guide of what we would include is in the user guide, of course, but I'll just give a quick summary here. So the calendar is for all JCC professionals at all 172 JCC community centers and camps. And the kind of things that we would include in the calendar are things that will be an opportunity not just for your community in JCC, but for others. So for example, if your JCC was hosting a speaker on Zoom, and it's somebody who you think is excellent, that would be beneficial for other communities to advertise to their members, you would send it to us. You would email the opportunity to post at jcca.org, and we would evaluate it. And then if it's something we'd want to add, we would add it to this calendar, mentioning that your JCC is hosting it. One mention one or two other quick things before I open it up for any questions that you might have. So you can easily share opportunities from the calendar with others. So you can click on a specific opportunity, you click share as a page, and now you can actually copy this link and email it to somebody and say, hey, I saw this thing from on the JCC movement calendar. It looks interesting. The other thing you can do is you can you can add a specific opportunity to your own calendar. So if, let's say, you don't want to add the whole category, but you want to add a specific item, you will click on share. You will click on others ICS, others as link, and you would choose the platform that you're using at work for scheduling. So I will close this here. The other sort of cool feature is you can print a view of the calendar. So list is usually the best one. Let's say you want to print a list of either all the items for the next year, or let's just for demonstration purposes, all the training and cohorts. So you would choose that category, you choose list, and then you click on the upper right-hand corner, PDF print, export, and then you can actually print this and have it on your desk for reference. So that is pretty much the presentation. Again, it's a calendar, so there's nothing super unusual. We just wanted to make it friendly and easy to use. Any questions, suggestions, or anything that I can help with on this call right now?
Not for me. I mean, this was very informative, and because I wasn't sure exactly how the whole thing was set up. I'm like, this is intriguing. I thought I wanted to go and see what the training was about. The only question that I had was, why did some of them have two colors? And then I realized that when you clicked on the one, it's actually in two different calendars. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So sometimes you'll see two colors, and very rarely maybe you'll see three. And that basically means that that opportunity falls into two of the categories here. So for example, if something is an informational call about a training and cohort, it'll have call, and then it'll have the training and cohort, and then it'll look like this item on November 2nd, which is informational session about the cohort.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, this was very informative. Thank you very much.
Of course. Well, I guess there's no more questions. The only thing I suggest now is to take a look at the user guide, set up the calendar view to fit what your sort of preferences are, and to tell your coworkers and colleagues, because it is a very helpful tool for finding out what's available from JCC Association, and things like holidays and Jewish communal conferences, again, both for your own programming and for scheduling.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially like when you were showing the holidays and then the resources, that's going to come in very, very handy.
Yes. Okay, great. I think at this point, this is the end of our presentation. We can stop the recording.
Okay.
Let's see.